Ever hear that inflation is up 3 or 4% and look at your grocery receipt and think, that can't be right? When you hear those official inflation numbers, reporters are usually talking about the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. You can think of it like a household shopping cart that economists fill with the things we buy every day. They track the price of the milk in your fridge, the rent you pay for your home, and the gasoline you put in your car. It measures exactly what it costs for an ordinary person to live. But here is the catch. What we buy for our homes only accounts for about 2/3 of the total economy. That means this standard index ignores a massive chunk of financial activity happening across the country. This shopping cart index is great for answering how much is my cost of living rising, but it doesn't tell us what's happening to the rest of the economic machine. To see the whole picture, we have to look at the parts of the economy that would never fit in a household cart. Think about a tech giant buying thousands of new computer servers to run the internet, or the government spending billions to build a new highway system. The prices for these industrial and government goods can move completely on their own. Sometimes the cost of high-tech servers might actually drop, even while the price of your milk and eggs is going up. This is why we have the GDP deflator. It acts like a comprehensive scanner, tracking price changes for absolutely everything produced in the country. If the standard index is scanning a single household shopping cart, the GDP deflator is scanning the entire supermarket, including all the inventory in the back. Imagine a lemonade stand made $100 in year 1 and $200 in year 2. You might think the business doubled, but here's the twist. It didn't sell a single extra cup. The owner simply doubled the price. Economists call that total amount in the cash register nominal GDP. It is the raw number politicians often use to claim the economy is booming. But relying purely on that raw dollar amount can be misleading. It creates an illusion of prosperity that isn't backed up by actual work. Simply generating more cash doesn't make a society wealthier if we are just producing the exact same amount of stuff and charging more for it. We need a price hike detector that can see through that illusion, and that is exactly what the GDP deflator does. Think of nominal GDP as an inflated balloon. The deflator squeezes the inflation air out of it. What's left over is real GDP, the solid core of the economy, the actual physical production of cars, software, and medicine. This separation is vital because it tells us if a multi-trillion-dollar increase in the economy came from actual human work and productivity, or if it was just the currency losing its value. The GDP deflator works like a pair of X-ray glasses. It strips away the distortion of changing prices to reveal the actual muscle and bone of a growing economy. This tool was incredibly important in early 2022, when major world events suddenly made it harder and more expensive to get global energy supplies. Because of that, the standard consumer index spiked to 8.5%. Ordinary families felt the immediate, severe pain of expensive gasoline in their personal budgets. But the GDP deflator, looking at the entire economy, only rose to about 6.5% during that same time. That happened because while household gas was expensive, things like business technology and government wages didn't see their prices go up nearly as fast. If we only looked at the household shopping cart, we would have misdiagnosed the whole economy as spiraling out of control, when in reality, the price crisis was focused mostly on consumer energy. The GDP deflator also signals when an economy's prices drop, a rare situation called deflation. Japan, for instance, struggled with a 25-year stretch where prices barely grew or actually fell. So here is your rule of thumb. Check the shopping cart index to see how inflation is hitting a family's wallet. But you have to look at the GDP deflator when you want to know if a nation is genuinely producing more for its people. Using the GDP deflator is the key to seeing through the illusion of money, and it is the perfect starting point for our next look at the difference between real and nominal GDP.